taking Paula so long?
We should check up on her.
Alright, let's go.
Paula shoe?
I can't find Paula, Catherine.
Vince!
January 16, 1920, it became illegal to buy, sell, or transmit alcohol in the United States, except for medicinal and religious purposes. This date marks the entrance of the 18th Amendment into the Constitution. The Volstead Act, which was passed October 28, 1919, was put into effect 3 months prior to the amendment and enforced prohibition. People responded in different ways. Mock funerals were held at nightclubs across the country. On the opposite side of the spectrum, America's small towns and churches rejoiced. However, the repeal to prohibition occurred in the year 1933 with the 21st Amendment. During the 1920s, law enforcement and the police were the minorities, as gangsters and mobsters were the majorities. Soon after the Prohibition Acts were passed, the people started bootlegging the alcohol and bypassed the laws. Law enforcement and the police tried to stop the bootleggers for a couple of years, but eventually downscaled the operation. Many cops became corrupted and sided with bootleggers because the bosses would pay them not to arrest the workers. One of the most famous mob bosses and bootleggers was Al Capone. Many politicians and police officers were on the payroll of Capone. Because of his $100 million annual income, he had no problem maintaining his kind of lifestyle. Law enforcement tried to nail him for any offense for which they could get proof. The only one was tax evasion. Capone served 11 years in prison and left wrecked with syphilis. He later died of cardiac arrest and was buried next to his father and grandfather in Chicago's West Side. Many cops and law enforcement officers continued to search and arrest bootleggers. The Federal Bureau of Investigation began massive manhunts to destroy gangsterism, and they finally were successful by sending many undercover agents in the mobs themselves and secretly into the speakeasies. The success is remembered by an image the FBI contains today. It is known as the country's premier law enforcement agency.
Vince! What happened? Why are we wearing this?
I don't know.
Guys, we need to go get some help.
Let's go.
We need to figure out where we are.
I know. I want to go home.
You guys want to go ask while I go use the restroom?
What's the password?
Bees knees.
Alright. What's the password?
Speakeasies were an establishment which illegally sold alcoholic beverages during the period of the United States history known as Prohibition. During this time, the sale, manufacture, and transportation of alcohol was illegal. In major cities, speakeasies were often quite elaborate, offering food, live music, floor shows, and striptease dancers. Although speakeasies were illegal, there were many benefits to those who took the risks of ownership. A speakeasy could net its owner up to $1,370 per month. Those with ties to organized crime commonly operated speakeasies. Bootleggers and mobsters made over $30 million a year from illegal alcohol trade. The American populace also came up with innovative ways to circumvent the law. They used hip flasks, false books, coconut shells, hot water bottles, and garden hoses to transport illegal liquor. In addition to speakeasies, blind pigs became a popular social joint. Blind pigs were similar to speakeasies in that they were underground nightclubs that sold illegal alcoholic beverages. However, blind pigs were a lower class division joint than speakeasies.
You didn't see nothing, okay?
I swear I didn't see anything. I swear.
Get up.
They won't pay me. I'll do whatever you want.
Alright, I need you to do some alcohol for me.
That's fine. That's fine.
Let's explain everything.
Okay.
Get out of here.
What?
Guys, you'll never guess what happened to me. I need to deliver some alcohol, but here, this will explain everything.
Al Capone?
Yes?
We have a problem, Mr. Capone. I can't deliver your alcohol.
I understand. No problem here, no problem. We'll get it to you.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no problem.
Alright, thank you.
Sure. Go on.
Al Capone was born on January 17, 1899 in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. No problem.
Capone was known for smuggling and bootlegging liquor during the Prohibition eras of the 1920s and 1930s. Capone was the leader of a crime organization known as the Chicago Outfit, which was disguised as a furniture dealing company. A typical Capone murder consisted of his men renting an apartment across the street from a victim's residence and gunning the victim down when he stepped outside. The operations were quick and complete, and Capone always had an alibi. This is why Capone was able to stay alive and free for so long. Capone arranged the most notorious gangland killing of the century, known as the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. The massacre was the outfit's effort to strike back at Bugs Moran's North Side Gang, which had become increasingly bold in hijacking the outfit's booze trucks. There were 7 deaths in total during the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, in which the victims were machine-gunned and shot to death. Al Capone was equally known for his violent temper and for his strong sense of loyalty and honor. He was the first to open soup kitchens after the 1929 stock market crash, and he ordered merchants to give clothes and food to the needy at his expense. One of Al Capone's henchmen was Antonio Accardo. It was during Prohibition that Capone gave Accardo the nickname Joe Batters and Big Tuna. His skill at hitting a couple of outfit traders with a baseball bat earned him the notorious nickname. In 1929, Prohibition Bureau agent Elliot Ness began a successful investigation of Capone and his business, shutting down many breweries and speakeasies Capone owned. On January 25, 1947, Al Capone suffered a fatal cardiac arrest and died.
We need to get back now.
I think the only way to get back is through that slide.
We need to get there now.
Okay.
Wait, get on the ground.
You're under arrest.
National prohibition of alcohol from 1920 to 1933, called the Noble Experiment, was undertaken to reduce crime and corruption, solve social problems, reduce the tax burden created by prisons and poorhouses, and improve health and hygiene in America. The results of that experiment clearly indicate that it was a miserable failure on all accounts. The evidence confirms sound economic theory, which predicted that prohibition of mutually beneficial exchanges is doomed to failure. The lessons of prohibition remain important today. They apply not only to the debate over the war on drugs, but also to the mounting efforts to drastically reduce access to alcohol and tobacco, and to such issues as censorship and bans on insider trading, abortion, and gambling.
Flip it over. Go, Vin.
Paula, it's your turn. I'm coming, guys. Vin, Paula.
We're here, Catherine.
Vin. Vin, are you okay?
No, I think he's dying.
Vin.
Catherine, I've always loved you.
No.